Good evening, and welcome to Residence 2026, presented by the West Fork Percussion School. Thank you for being here to support these students and the work they've put in to make tonight possible. Before we get started, I'd like to point out that the programs that are located at the back of the room, right next to the sound booth, there are 2 QR codes next to them. One of them will allow you to purchase a program for $2. If you don't want to spend $2, just grab one, it's fine. And then the other QR code is a direct donation to the band. Both of the funds will go directly into a Band Booster account, and they will just help us buy things and do things like this in the future. Okay. This year is the first in a decade that I have taught the beginning and junior high percussion sections directly. Not long after the school year started, I began toying with the idea of combining the grade levels to play a few percussion ensemble pieces at our spring band concert. See, there is something irreplaceable about performing with a larger ensemble. Solo work doesn't compare, and neither do duets nor trios. I wanted a way to allow the younger kids the chance to perform with a bigger group than themselves, to increase their exposure to music that isn't written for small groups, and to get them interested in what comes next in their musical development. As the younger grade levels progressed and I got more familiar with the incoming freshmen, I started to think that maybe instead of just a couple of ensembles, we needed a full recital. The goal being that each student has to take ownership of his or her own growth and learning. My thinking was that something like a recital would propel the growth and development of these young musicians further and faster than even a few years of doing things the old way. And because I'm kind of an idiot, I decided that every student would be required to perform a solo in addition to the multiple ensembles that we will be presenting this evening. That's a big number, just so you know. Tonight's performance is a celebration of growth, persistence, and musical storytelling from our percussion students in grades 7 through 12. You'll hear everything from solo works to full ensembles, spanning a wide range of styles, instruments, and musical ideas. And because of their hard work over this year, tonight we present 21 pieces of music, which, to my knowledge, is more music than has ever been presented in any other concert in the history of the school. To make this happen, the kids have logged a total of 44,389 minutes of unattended practice this year. That doesn't count any time spent with me or with Mr. Brown helping, and it doesn't count ensemble time. We are talking pure practice time. 44,389 minutes. It's just under 100 full school days. I think just for the sheer effort that goes into that, all of these percussionists deserve a round of applause. Okay, we have a lot of music to share with you, so let's get started. The group that should be going to their spots right now is the Senior High Percussion Ensemble. These students are in grades 9 through 12, and their years of experience range from 1 year to 5 years. Excalibur is a large percussion ensemble work inspired by the legend of King Arthur. The music features bold, dramatic passages and strong rhythmic energy, creating a sense of power and adventure. Please enjoy Excalibur. Percussion concerts are unique because of the amount of logistical involvement in setting up instruments. Choirs require nearly zero setup time between pieces. Bands require the amount of time that it takes us to get ready. And we are pretty much the source of all concert-related categories. Because of that, I'll be talking through this thing. Hopefully I've timed out how much talking will be required. Otherwise, I'll have to be making things up on the spot, which could potentially get me fired. So, we shall see what the evening holds. I also closed the curtains on so I can't see. Hold on. He wasn't supposed to start that, which makes his first sentence rhyme. Gabriel is one of those kids who doesn't come with a turbo setting. I think that every single day I've seen him, he has been at 100% speed, and one of my favorite things is to watch him channel that into his lyrics. When he picked this solo, he hated maths, but I think it's that he's actually growing rather fond of them now. Originally written for harpsichord, Rapide reflects the elegance of the Baroque period. It challenges the performer to recreate the delicate style and one instrument, and then you're already welcome Gabriel. Next, Oliver Wagner is a quick learner. Sorry, I swear I can read. At the beginning of the year, one of the other members of his class said he went home and looked up YouTube videos about whatever was going. He denied it. Almost completely. By the way, Oliver has consistently played above the level I expect of him, and I've enjoyed getting to see him start his journey. Oliver will be performing a solo snare piece by Garwood Whaley. This etude focuses on rhythmic precision, the shift between rhythms based on 2 and those based on 3, and maintaining a steady pulse while navigating dynamic contexts. Please welcome Oliver Wagner. Jaya was a kid who took me quite a while to figure out. She went through several summer drumline practices where I swear I did not see her smile one time. Then, on some random day, she and Haiti, more on her later, were sitting in the doorway of Mr. Brown's office while we were chatting, and Jael actually spoke, unprompted. Then she laughed. While this was a turning point, it wasn't like a light switch, so it was being a personal goal to get this kid to be more comfortable in the family that is the percussion section. I think the other line members and I have been successful at it. Jael's first solo of the afternoon will be 17. This piece emphasizes balance, clarity, and lyrical phrasing, translated from piano to mallet percussion. Please welcome Jael Pipe. This next ensemble will look a little bit different because we had to do some last-minute substitutions of the parts because of genetic reasons. Oliver is back on stage playing vibraphone. We are so thankful to the U of A, and specifically Roxy Boyd, for allowing us to borrow both this vibraphone and the second marimba that is being set up. Over there. We really can't thank Roxy, but we could have done most of what we're doing tonight. Wow. Okay. Benji is also on stage playing that borrowed marimba. Benji is hilarious. He had a goal of not talking to me the entire year, and we made it a solid 3 days into knowing the band. It was a good attempt, but this kid likes to talk way too much for that to have actually worked out. Helping us out on other marimba is Will. We will talk more about Will later. Time Spent Dreaming is an original piece written for the beginning ensemble. It invites the listener to spend a little time daydreaming, wondering, and embracing curiosity. Please enjoy the beginning ensemble performing Time Spent Dreaming. On rare occasions, a student will either work up the nerves to get pushed into auditioning for the percussion section in high school, or they just show up. I don't know. Can you just show up? I think after formal auditions, wanting to be in the percussion, our first conversation went something like this. Hey, have you ever played an instrument? Hey. Nope. Me. Have you ever been in choir before? Hey. Nope. Me. Do you have any idea about how to read music? Hey. No. Me. Okay. Well, what do you want to play? Hey. Snare. I see. You mean like this unit? She did. I had to crush her dreams a little bit then, but she stuck around, worked really hard to learn how to read music, worked to develop an internal pulse, and just kept working. While this isn't what she meant when she said that she wanted to play snare, we will be playing snare solo, or snare etude, written by our friend Darla Rover again. This etude is voiced by Fulton, creating an intentionally uneven feel while building toward a large-scale crescendo. Please welcome Andrew Hudson. Is Gracie in the audience? Okay. Reconfiguration, having the same kid, sorry. Alright, it's time to talk about Katie. She has only recently started coming out of her shell when around me. I'm now treated to random jokes and the most incredibly loud vocal noises in response to any sort of as negative or intimidating. When I was originally not going to be returning to work at the drumline, I think she was the most excited. In fact, when I gave the incoming freshmen their audition music, she asked me if I would be in it. I told her yes. And she both visibly winced and said something along the lines of, dang. She still doesn't like playing in front of me, so I'll be pretending not to exist for the duration of her solo. Also, the kids got to pick the videos that they were going to have in the background. Some of them didn't send me things, so I just randomly went with it. But she actually did send me 2 full-length documentaries. Like the whole thing. And so the name of her piece, as you can see up there, is Sidewinder. Both of them had copious amounts of snakes in them, and I almost did it, almost. Like it was in the presentation, but then I started thinking that maybe some of you might have some phobias, and I really didn't want everybody just like doing that the whole time while she was playing, because it might shake her confidence. So she got the desert scenes from the documentary about those Sidewinders instead of the actual scenes. Hopefully, you guys get that. Peggy does not. Peggy's son also takes an insanely long time. But it's worth it, right? Say less, Amy. You know, the longer you take, the closer I am to embarrassing stories. Not ready. You ready? Sure. Deep breath, I'll stop half a minute. So what clearly was not happening with Lynch was sorry, who was going to cite me this part. So I lost. The next group performing the junior high percussion ensemble. All of these kids are in 8th grade, and while 2 of these 3 have been introduced, please don't feel like the third member of the trio, Deborah Blum, is any less noteworthy. I don't want to spoil any stories for later, though, so I'll talk about the group as a whole. The other person is supposed to be Gracie, by the way. This group is a lot of fun to just watch being kids. The dynamic between the 3 of them is wholesome and protective, and at least most of the time, kind and caring. They get together during RTI sessions to work on this music, and their other trio by themselves. Each of them is allowed to have a voice, and I love that. They are, without a doubt, the most swirl-brained section I've ever had, but they kind of make up for it by how endearing they are. I made the mistake several weeks back of saying that I'm rather fond of them. Dear listeners, when I told you that I have never been reminded of a statement that I've made more times in my life, I actually had to renew my statement of affection, maybe last week, because Deborah wasn't there to hear me say it the first time, so she decided that it didn't apply to her. Yes. So, you two, do you want to play by yourself, or you want me to read Grace's part?
I want you to play this part.
Of course you will. You're gonna give me one more chance to change your mind. You want me to read Grace's part, or you want to play by yourself?
I would like you to read this part, please.
Well, fine. Into the mist. Imagine the trek through a misty landscape where uncertainty and discovery conspire to be journeyed to the destination. Please enjoy the junior high ensemble performing Into the Mist. I promise any of the mistakes are going to be mine, not theirs.
So accommodating. This folder organization is atrocious. Super sorry. You guys didn't give me Alex.
Obviously, I did not read fast enough. All right. Michaela is one of those kids who joined in, but I can't remember if she joined before or during the summer, but she came to me with experience in choir and absolutely ludicrous amount of determination. Absolutely beautiful her. She's a senior this year, and she will be missed, but I am sure her impact and impression will be obvious for many years to come. Memory of an April Rain is a lyrical solo that evokes a reflective, almost nostalgic atmosphere through expressive phrasing and the full use of the dynamics. That's not the right one. Pause. Sorry. Very good. Jasmine started in the beginning band, being taught by one of my student leaders, Abel Black. Back then, my student leadership would tell me how band went each day. I would give them feedback and a plan for the next day, and we would presumably go out and put that plan into action. I'm not clear on the specifics of what happened, but Jasmine got that 1 year with Abel, then went to be homeschooled. Then she showed back up again last year. The wild thing is that she showed up with an absolutely crazy understanding of how to read rhythm. So whatever Abel was doing, Jasmine clearly responded to that. I'm sure there are stories. Since being back, Jasmine has been determined to improve regardless of everything else, sometimes even to the point that it hurts. I'm proud of her tenacity and her refusal to give up on goals. Jasmine will be performing Mr. Whaley's more advanced timpani etude, which expands on technique with large amounts of dynamic contrast and cross-drum control. Jasmine makes himself, and then also some drums. Look at that. Shut up, hit your button. We finally get to tell the story about Devin. I'm excited. When I took over 8th grade band or 8th grade percussion this school year, there were some weird habits that needed breaking. I'm not pointing any fingers, but these habits could possibly stem from some prior to the beginning of percussionist. Maybe I started testing 8th graders on singing because I figured it would be an easier place to start. Well, that was true, but easier is relative here. These kids were trying so hard, which is great. But Deborah was taking it to extremes. Her stick grip was insane. I'm talking white knuckle sort of tight. That isn't good. It's super bad for your hands. Obviously, I wanted to fix this so that she could continue to do normal things like carry a bottle of water, open doors, or any of those other day-to-day sort of things. I told her to relax, which never works. She just stressed and squeezed tighter. Finally, out of desperation, I asked her what her favorite small animal was. For some reason, she comes back really quickly with kiwi bird. I'm like, okay. And I want you to imagine I want you to imagine that the drumstick is a kiwi. You are trying to hold it tight enough that it can't fly away, but you aren't trying to crush the life out of it. For like the rest of the day, we had to keep a tally of how many kiwis lost their lives in pursuit of a more relaxed grip. Gabriel, thoughtfully, helped me call out every single one of these guys. Deborah will be performing Impertinence, adapted from a Baroque piece that highlights clarity, articulation, and precision. Please welcome Deborah Vaughn. The three kids that are supposed to be in this ensemble are constantly distracted by basically. I'm not sure how many of you have been in a percussion room, but all of this stuff is in there all the time. And shiny things tend to catch their attention. Between all of the instruments in the room, Deborah's incredibly loud parachute pants, Gracie's constant plots to gaslight herself and everyone around her, and Gabriel's fascination with literally everything, it is a wonder we get anything done. They're uniquely done, somehow work really well together, and respect each other, and are able to be around. That's this. This type. Can you hear me? Where are you going to play? No one will save me. It's always good when the kids get better than Kira is a kid that I didn't expect to have in my set. She started band playing flute, but the only other flute in the high school band, Grady, feels me and with her, plays the piano during marching season. Throwing a single flute on the marching field makes very little sense because you can't hear them at all. So Kira kind of just came along as part of the package deal. As marching season progressed, so did Kira. She had to put a lot of time into getting her rhythm and pulse up to where they needed to be, but she never gave up. Fast forward to the end of marching season, and I believe Mr. Brown and I were standing in the parking lot after an after-school rehearsal. He was just like, "Do you want to keep Kira in progression? She's doing better there for you than she is on flute." I was like, "Sure." Kira officially joined the dark side of the band program. I do agree that she makes a better percussionist than she does at practice. Because it needs those. Bobby agreed. Kira is performing The Clock. This piece centers on a steady pulse and consistency inspired by the motion of a ticking clock. Please welcome, almost, Kira Hoffman. Speaking of people that I didn't expect to teach, Brandon. Brandon is a tuba player turned euphonium player turned snare. At some point before auditions last year, Brandon asked me if I would allow him to play an audition. I thought it was weird, but I didn't see any harm in it, and if I'm being honest, I thought his audition was going to be pretty good. I hadn't ever seen him play. Then I started noticing him practicing a little, and I was kind of thinking, well, he isn't bad. I still didn't expect him to be able to play the audition music, though. Well, he showed up in the audition and he played everything really well. It is the only audition I have ever judged that has actually anchored me because of the person playing at such a high level. I was just so wrong. It wasn't logical, and I like logic. Brandon was very much self-taught. But the thing that impressed me was his musicality. His technique was weird, and he had odd habits, but he understood how to communicate through music, and he didn't seem to care which instrument he was using. Playing artistically on a snare drum is difficult, and playing in a way that the music can breathe, where it can live, is a whole different level. This next piece is especially meaningful. Winging It was composed by Brandon himself. It reflects his musical voice and creative growth, showcasing his work not just as a performer, but as an aspiring composer. Please welcome Brandon Britt. probably a little late for that volume one than meant to be. Will, as a kid, I worried about the first time we met. We were doing a percussion ensemble piece that I had co-written with a student from the Superior's Online Concert, and it was supposed to include grades 8 through 12. I gave Will a concert bass drum part, and there was serious struggle. I remember thinking, wow, I'm going to have to really give this some attention. We got to drumline auditions, and Will auditioned on bass. He did better than I expected, so I was less concerned. But then we started working on mallets, and something unlocked. I firmly believe that all percussionists specialize in one area or another. I think it's fair to say that Will has decided to specialize in marimba. Marimba has so many opportunities for musical expression at all notes, but extended range increases some of those possibilities. Will wasn't content with a single solo, and also wanted to do a duet. This is mostly because I tricked him, but more on that later. There wasn't really anyone else who had the time to learn a duet as well as their solos, so Will asked if I would play. My initial thought was, well, crud, I haven't learned a piece in a good while, I might be bad at this now. My second thought was, if I'm bad at this, Will's going to work bad too. I almost said no, but Will convinced me, and here we are, about to play what I think is the first duet I've ever played with. Through the Looking Glass is a duet from Marimba and Vibrant. Inspired by imaginative and whimsical ideas, this duet explores contrasting textures and musical conversation. Please welcome Will Newman.
Don't ever bring me malice.
Beginners are always interesting to teach. Back in the day, I taught beginners in 6th grade, and it was kind of my favorite grade to work with. There was something super pure about every day being a new light bulb moment for them. Eventually, we moved the beginning band to 7th grade, and while I still liked it, there was something different in that one extra year of growing up. Almost like there was less of a willingness to just try things, less of a willingness to ignore. My beginning group before this one was 8 kids, and was about 10 years old. Now this class is 3 kids total, 19 years old, and these kids have continued to change. I've really enjoyed getting to know this group, what they care about and what they find funny, and what makes them happy and what makes them sad has been a huge discovery. And I'm lucky to have had the chance to teach them. Again, unfortunately, we had to make a substitution for the student who could not be here, so I'll be playing that. Three at a Time is a trio that builds foundational skills while combining independent parts and choosing a vital food. Please enjoy the beginning ensemble performance of Three at a Time. Oh, yeah. I'm watching that, right? The kids all have to do equal assignments. And Jael is one of the couple of kids who like to put a big briefing session at the end of the videos. There are things like what she had challenges with that week, random questions she may have, requests for advice on how to do something a little better, and on a few occasions, a very clear statement of how much she hates the solo she played forever. Yep, see? So after a few hours, I agreed to help look for another session. Jael's request has to be formal. Formal marimba is an advanced technique, and there's a lot of intricacies in how all of the tiny muscles in your hands work to produce each type of stroke. These solos have all been learned with almost no face-to-face instruction from me. So I was a little concerned to give a formality piece to someone that I had previously given just a single formality lesson to. I caved though. I picked this piece, and Jael went to work, but I also made her keep working on Sonatina as a backup. The side effect is that Jael now gets to play her second solo. The Swingers, meaning dreams, creates a lyrical and expressive atmosphere through musical storytelling. Please welcome Jael Powell. And she just listened to the book and it's all the computer. I told you earlier that I tricked well. I suppose it would be more accurate to say that I capitalized on miscommunication on me. See, this next piece is a multi-movement piece. That means that while it is technically one piece of music, it is very clearly divided into three separate sections with their own titles, their own vibe, their own personalities. Will didn't know that this was a multi-movement piece, but I did. Will thought that when I approved this piece, he would only be playing the first movement. Then got the duet from earlier that I explained. Then got the duet. Then I explained what a multi-movement piece was, and that he had to play all three for it to make any sense. Wow. This multi-movement work paints a picture of winter through contrasting musical ideas. Movement 1 is called wind. It's aggressive and flowy. Movement 2 is snow. Listen closely and think about those quietest moments when the snow blankets the ground. Movement 3 is ice. It is unpredictable, jagged, and sharp. So we're going to stop in the middle of each. Please hold your applause until the end of the third. Please welcome Will Newman. Well, now it's still collecting notes. Collections complete. Brady is one of those kids who shows up, and we're just thankful. As I mentioned earlier, he's a flute player who has also been a saxophone player, but he plays piano in marching band. For some reason this year, Grady decided he was going to get really good at piano. I'm not complaining, I'm thankful, but it kind of came out of nowhere. At this moment, he has random equipment he has borrowed from me and his mom's laptop all hooked up in his room console for practice. So I get the benefit from these videos. When he switched to flute after marching band, he stopped submitting percussion playing assignments for 7 entire weeks. Then out of nowhere, I get a video called Grady's Back. With him starting out using a British accent, trying to play this piece, it wasn't polished, but it had intent, and it had emotion, and he cared about what he was doing. And every week after, I have purposefully graded his video assignment last. I love the song, and I love getting to listen to him share. Brady also shares Brady shares some of my eccentricities, which is why this setup takes a few minutes. To be totally honest, I can't stand the built-in sound of this piano. So we have to hook it up to a computer and after speakers and also use some piano sounds with 17 different piano patch combinations, and it was a whole thing. Then I showed Brady how to edit them, and then he went through and he edited them even more until he was pleased and heard what he thought he should in his head. I don't know how to pronounce this song, so I'm sorry. That piece is a contemporary work that focuses on repeating patterns, tone, and emotional expression. One moment before you look in. Is it all plugged in?
Yeah.
Is the main volume up?
Huh?
Did you turn up the main?
You said 0?
I did say 0. I forgot to add a mute button. Sorry.
Anything. Now please welcome Brady. He thought he was missing a page. This part of the email was like 7 pages. I mean, one year to very good news with the film stand was only 6. Okay. For our final, as all the kids set up for our final piece, I just want to take a few moments to thank you for joining us here and for supporting the kids in the field. What you might not know is that they started working at 11:15 this morning. Roxy Boyd was here to provide a master class for the students where she played and also critiqued the performances of several of the kids. Just a few minutes before showtime, these kids still work to be better, and I think that's pretty special. Let's give a round of applause to all the kids on stage. I also specifically remember the special thanks to Roxy Boyd who just dropped their performance. Not only for the masterclass, but for arranging for us to borrow the vibratorium and even voting them in the tip for us for judging solo and ensemble for us last week, for coming out during market season to help out in time, for generally the wonderful students we love. Thank you. It means the world. Thank you to the band students in the audience. This was a large chunk of your Saturday on a very busy weekend, and it means a lot that you showed up to support these guys. For high school members, you felt all too often how unsatisfying and kind of sad it is to play for an empty seat. Thank you for doing your part to make sure that this is today. Thank you to Billy Brown for working with me, for working with the kids when I couldn't do anything, and for being willing to let them follow you. I didn't imagine working with anyone else after Mr. Terrell would be easy, and aside from randomly reminding me of just how young you actually are, it's a burden that makes me being the rain better when I'm gray and red skies. Thanks to our administration and our school board, we get a ton of support, and this sort of thing just can't happen if your administration was over more sides. We never feel pressured or looked down upon or excluded, and that means everything. Also, a thank you to my parents who are in audience and my parents. Yeah, because even after 38 years, they still just show up. One last thanks to Mrs. Tully, who unfortunately could not be here just late phone things. I would absolutely not be doing this if it wasn't for Mr. Tully. He inspired me, taught me more about teaching and communicating with students than any college class ever did, and has been a true friend. Mrs. Tully prepared me for years when I first took the drum line, and has always been someone I can talk to, and has been the occasional mediator between Mr. Tully and I didn't see eye to eye. Surely, by this point, we are set up. We are not. It seems on this calendar. Our final piece is called A Path Not Meant for Daylight. It follows a journey into building tension towards a powerful and dramatic conclusion. Thank you again for attending Resonance 2026. Please enjoy the 2026 studio ensemble performing A Path Not Meant for Daylight and have a wonderful day.